right, it's now time for the Week 10 Fantasy Show. We are getting closer and closer to the end of the regular season. With that, each matchup week gets bigger and bigger, and this past week 9 was a big week for some people. Looking at the results from this past week, starting at the top, my matchup versus Cronky, and this one was not close at all. Cronky's team last week had a horrible week, only scored like 90 points and lost, and sure enough, his team rebounds 142.68 to 112.82 for me. Very mediocre score from my team as some of my guys did not perform. Vidal, who I thought was going to be in a great spot after his week last week, did nothing. Jordan Love against Carolina did absolutely nothing after his monster week the week before, so two guys both regressed. Genty and Marvin Harrison were the highlights of the week. Mark Andrews also on Thursday night looked pretty good. Pickens just did okay. And Brian Thomas Jr. also disappointed in a favorable matchup with no Travis Hunter. Basically, those three guys, Love, Vidal, and Thomas, I was expecting a lot more out of them, and they did inconsistent shit like this whole season. On Cronky's side, Daniel Jones didn't look great. His first bad game of the year against Pittsburgh. Chase Brown had a very nice performance, though, after that trade Cronky made. Bijan just did okay for his standards. Obviously, Jamison Williams, who has been having goose eggs in single point games, obviously, of course, 4 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown this week. Poos is going to need that to continue if his team is going to be one of the teams to beat with having like that fourth flex spot with Jamison Williams. He's going to need him to keep having these type of performances. Jefferson got a touchdown. McBride had a nice game, and obviously JSN did his normal thing with 22 big points. Congratulations to Cronky on his 30-point victory. Nice and easy. Goes to 5-4 now, so it's a big victory for him on the standings. Sends me to 3-6. And kind of creates a gap, which when we show the standings, you'll see that gap for those final playoff spots to the teams that are 3-5, 3-6 now. So big win for him. Cronky, your comments after taking care of business.
Always great to beat the fuck out of Golfer.
Yep,
Um,
I'm sure.
Consistently, every year it seems I just take Golfer behind the woodshed and just give him a new asshole. And, I hope that continues. Um, Hope
I,
to see you in the playoffs, Golfer, because your team is
I
just
don't
a
think
load
I'll
of
be making it.
piece of shit.
All right,
Well,
thank
at
you.
least you know your shit.
I mean, my team's not in a great spot, especially this upcoming week, but what can you do when you make a trade for Scary Terry and he instantly is back hurt? Mike Evans out for the year. I mean, some of my wide receivers once again are hurt. So it's pieced together some type of lineup. I tried to make a move and it hasn't worked because he got hurt instantly. But it's all right, Cronky. Like I said, your team is good and your team is a playoff team, but your
Yeah,
team
I
at
know.
the moment is not a championship team. I will say it.
Okay.
You got holes. You got holes. Your
I'm
quarterback is a
glad it's you
major.
saying that.
Your quarterback's a major concern. Jamison Williams isn't putting up 16 every week. I mean, you got Jefferson and JSN and McBride, but you got a few holes in your lineup that could
Okay.
be your downfall.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like last week when you scored 90 points, this week you scored 142. So congratulations. But I don't think you're winning at all.
No, thank you. Thank you, Golfer.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sounds
Anybody
good.
else want to make any comments on this matchup?
No.
No. Is
Golfer,
anybody worried about Cronky's team to win it all?
No.
nope. I'm
Okay.
not worried
So
about
same
Crunky in
as
the
me.
playoffs, and
Uh-huh.
it's sad to say that Golfer is it's a fantasy failure for you this year.
Yeah, I mean, not making the playoffs is definitely a failure. Now I just have to battle and avoid last place.
This is becoming consistent for you.
2 years in a row. Not. I made the playoffs 2 years ago. Just didn't make it last year.
Maybe you're one of the guys I
Sucks.
hope to play twice next year.
Well, Zach, I played you earlier this year. You had your shot to beat me, and one of my 3 lonely wins is against you.
It wouldn't happen a
Yikes.
second time. I'll guarantee that.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Luckily for me, it already happened this year, and I won. So, GG. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we talk about another team that has been shitting this season and has been consistently shit as well. We'll see if Zach calls him out as well. I'm sure he won't, because he didn't make the playoffs either last year. Ernie loses to Slaps in the most closest matchup. Just add that to the long list of games this year by Ernie that he barely loses. 121.66 to 122.10. He now falls to 2-7 and now on record is a tie for last place with Pukas. He picked up a big win we'll talk about in a minute. So now tied for the worst record and tied for last place. He does have a big points for advantage over Pook, but nonetheless, this could have been a big win for Ernie to get if he could have pulled it out. But on Monday Night Football, his kicker, Brandon Aubrey, let him down. They tried a long-ass field goal before half that he missed, and that ends up being the difference for why he loses by such a close margin. Also, he started Michael Carter on Monday Night Football as well, who didn't even touch the field. So great decisions there by Ernie. You know, I may be doing shit with my lineup, but at least I start guys that are actually playing. Unlike Ernie, who starts a guy that doesn't even touch the field and is actually the reason he lost this matchup. If he starts any running back off waivers that at least touch the field for one play, he fucking wins this matchup. So great job, Ernie. Got a huge performance from T. Higgins, though. He's been coming on a little lately ever since Joe Flacco got there. Him and Chase both. 33 huge points, 2 touchdowns. Quentin Johnson got back in the end zone finally, so that's a good sign for Ernie's team. He started Troy Horton, which was a nice start. 2 touchdowns and 20 big points for your final flex spot. That was a good start by Ernie. Overall, I mean, his team did very solid outside of Michael Carter and his kicker, and unfortunately, that was the difference in the matchup. Slap started Trevor Lawrence, who got a good performance. Jacobs was solid. Kyron was solid. Davante Adams again. Another big game for 2 touchdowns. Kroenke, any regret in trading Davante Adams at all? Your boy? He's been popping off quite a bit.
Not really.
No? Okay.
My team's going to the playoffs, so can't really care. Yep.
Okay, well, maybe with Davante Adams on your team, you'd be a contender threat.
Yeah, maybe focus on your team.
Fat Tire.
pile
I'm
of
just
fucking
asking a
shitty
question.
ass
I know
team.
Davante Adams is your boy, and
focus on your
he's been
team.
popping off.
Focus on your team. Your piece of
He's been
shit
pop.
team.
He's been
Piece
popping
of shit
off.
team.
The
Focus
thing
on your
about
piece of
fucking
shit
doing
team.
the show, Kroenke, is I can ask you questions about trades you make. So don't get all feisty there, little guy.
Yeah, and those people at home need to
You-
realize that this is the worst, the second worst, I should say, second worst fantasy player in this league all time. Second worst.
Okay, and
Who's
not
their
the
host?
worst, because you know who is the
Puso,
worst.
why are you targeting certain individuals today?
All right. Anyways, Tucker Kraft got hurt and out for the year, so that is a big blow for Slaps moving forward. Jawan Jennings did get in the end zone though for Slaps, and Boswell. Honestly, the kicker battle was the difference, and that second running back or that first running back spot with Carter versus Jacobs. So GG's Slaps, huge win for him now, goes to 7-2 on the season. Very strong season from Slaps, fighting for that number 1 overall seed in the bye. I still don't think I don't know if his team is championship worthy, but right now you can't argue with the record. 7-2, picks up another win. He's just been winning. He's been pulling out close matchups all season, so he definitely has had the luck on his side. He did get a little though unlucky with Tucker Kraft now out for the year, so that does hurt his team moving forward. It could be a concern, but he got Hurts back as well for next week, so he got a win with Hurts on bye. Overall, very strong. On Ernie's side, 2-7 as we talked about. I did receive a DM this morning from Ernie that did have me scratching my head a little bit. He was asking, I guess he just wanted clarification on if he could still make moves. And I said, yeah, you're not eliminated yet. There's 5 weeks left. If you win out, you're 7-7, and who knows, with your points for that could still get you in the playoffs. So you're not mathematically eliminated. So he said he's going to be fire sailing to try to improve his team each week to win each individual week. And I said, okay, well, good luck with that. We all know Ernie with making trades. Good luck. But we will be keeping an eye on Ernie to make sure he doesn't just give away players for free. He needs to improve. I said, as long as you're improving your team for that week to make a trade, then I can, so basically trading away your buy players, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what Ernie does, but not good from Ernie when you start a guy that doesn't even touch the field, and that's the difference in you losing, and now you're tied for last place. Anybody want to make any comments on Slaps or Ernie's?
I mean, I offered Ernie some deals last week that were fair and would have gotten him some players for the bye week. I was going to tank this week, but he
Well,
didn't
he
want to
wasn't
accept.
in fire sale mode now. Apparently, this loss this past week now puts him in fire sale mode. So,
I got
maybe.
something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a fucking joke. A fucking joke. Are you fucking kidding me? You started a guy that didn't play a fucking snap? A fucking snap. You are the biggest joke this league has ever seen, and there's been some real jokes in this league. What the fuck is that? You started a guy that did not play a single snap, Ernie. Wake up.
Maybe
We're getting worried about you, Ernie.
maybe
We
his
are.
girlfriend said, "Hey, you should start Michael Carter this week."
Jesus Christ, Ernie.
I don't know. Okay.
Fucking wake this fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, Slav showed the picture of all the guys off free agency that he could have picked up that would have got him the win this week, and he chose
Unbelievable.
Michael Carter. Did I miss some news on Michael Carter or something that made him like a pick back up worthy guy? What,
I don't
because
know.
they
I don't
signed
know.
him off the practice squad? Is that why Ernie decided to pick him up? I
It's
don't.
just the biggest joke I've ever seen. I've never seen something
Hey,
like that
at
before in my
least,
life.
you make this move and you cost yourself. So you can't. The good thing about it's not like if Ernie would have lost by like 20, then it's like, okay, this move doesn't matter. But his decisions cost him a victory. It's not like he just got
No
blown out
doubt
and it didn't
about
matter.
it.
So at least he's getting maximal punishment for these horrible decisions or this horrible decision because it literally cost him a win this week. And probably cost him. I mean, he basically needs to run the table now and score a lot of points each week. So,
Just a fucking joke.
okay. Anybody want to make any comments on Slaps' team now 7-2?
That's also a joke. If you look at his points scored, his points for,
Yeah.
oh my.
I will
Yeah.
say he has pulled out like every close matchup this year.
I mean, his
basically.
points for are close to some of the others. So I wouldn't just say his
No,
points for.
his points for is not the issue. It's his points against. He has the least points against by a significant margin.
Slaps has the best 7-2.
He has
team in the
under
league.
1,000. He has under 1,000
He
points
has the
against.
best.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Interesting.
Really,
Okay.
Rat? After I obliterated you? Okay.
All
Yes.
right. Well, moving on to another team that is 7-2. Cheese picks up a big win over Zach. Another close matchup this week, 127.92 to 126.16. So another close
right.
one. Zach
Justice.
falls to 6-3. You know, Zach had a lot of confidence these last few weeks building. His team was looking very good. And kind of just a mediocre 126, as he likes to call it, because he said earlier to me this year that 125 is just mediocre. So, mediocre week from Zach's team, and he falls to Cheese just barely. Josh Allen has a monster week. The Christian McCaffrey does not get hurt against Zach. Better than Taylor, and it showed this week. 34 huge points for McCaffrey. Meanwhile, Jonathan Taylor has his worst game of the year, 7.7 points. Cheese also had to start the backup Bears running back, and he looked very good, 22.8. Clearly winning that trade versus me, as Scary Terry's done for a while. And even though Swift was out, he got the backup who looked just as good as Swift. So good trade from Cheese on that point. Addison was the disappointment. Sutton got 10, but you know Cheese probably is bitching about that because he always likes to bitch about Sutton. Ferguson, kind of a couple bad weeks now in a row for Ferguson as he lost a fumble, only got 8 points. Bam Knight got just enough as it was looking there for a while on Monday Night Football like Zach might have a chance as Cheese's guys were fumbling and not getting runs. But he got just enough. Woody Marks also comes way back down to earth with 2.7. So there, as to Rat's point, there is some holes on these 7-2 teams. They are not perfect by a long shot. But when you got Allen and McCaffrey and Monagle going off for basically 80 points combined, it's pretty easy to fill in the rest to at least get in the 120 range. Like we said on Zach's side, Jonathan Taylor is worst game of the year. If he just does anywhere near as normal, he wins this matchup. Lamar comes back and shines, looks good with 25. Jamar Chase with 17. Warren had a nice game. Ladd McConkey kind of a down game, but matched Sutton. Dalton Kincaid with a monster game. Welcome back to him, over 100 yards again in a tight touchdown for 22 big points. Romeo Doubs had a nice game too. And to start the week on Thursday night, Zach started with Washington, who didn't look great, but got just enough. And just maybe if he doesn't lose that fumble, Zach wins this matchup. So very close. Could have went either way, but Zach falls to the 6-3 mark. Cheese, your comments after stacking another win to tie now slaps at 7-2.
We got bailed this week.
Okay.
To be honest.
Wow.
I'll say it.
Wow.
But
okay. Another close matchup that goes your way. That's a few now. You and slaps
we got
both.
bailed. We did put up good, like 127 is not like a bad number. It's just
No,
we
it's
got
not.
bailed.
No.
We got bailed. Look, and also the Texans coach is a terrorist. So CJ Stroud being
we're back
concussed,
we're back on.
well,
that.
now that CJ Stroud got Tua, they might actually run the ball. So
we're back on the.
To back up.
Have you ever thought that maybe they don't?
also,
Have you ever given any thought? Just a thought here, Cheese. Have you ever given any thought that maybe they don't run the ball that much because their offensive line is horrible?
they had
Their
at the
offensive
last
line
game.
is horrible.
They were at the 1 yard line, and Nick Chubb got stuffed like 2 times, and then they gave it to this Britain guy who also got stuffed, and then they turned the ball over or something. So they're just terrorists,
Okay.
and they don't deserve it. Also, what else was I going to say?
They're just terrorists.
Oh, apparently Khalil Shakir, the only way to get him is to trade Christian McCaffrey. So
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna get into that later
What was
in
your
the show,
Shakir
but
offer? I wanna hear
Cheese,
I posted.
I
wanna hear
understand
this.
you complaining,
I want to hear
but-
what his Shakir offer is.
but hold on, before you say that, I understand you complaining, but this is like you complaining about Ernie not sending offers. It's Pook. Like, how many other people this year have said they've sent Pook an offer and never heard anything back?
No,
Okay,
Pook
hold
on.
sends
Me twice.
offers. Pook sent me counter offers. These are some of the worst I ever seen.
I'm not trying to disrespect Cheese, but when he says he sent offers, it doesn't mean he sent the best offers.
Right, I'll
Because
tell
he
you.
thought Woody Marks and
I'll tell
Jordan
you.
Addison was in
Wait,
the
I'll
so
tell
did
you.
Pook send you a
I'll tell
counter
you.
offer?
He did. I'll tell you exactly.
Okay, well
what
then you
happened.
can't complain.
Hold
What are
on.
you complaining
Let me
about?
just say what happened. Let me say what
Okay,
happened because Rat
okay,
wanted to know.
I'll counter your argument.
I put Sam Darnold on trade block, and Pook immediately messaged me, "What's the Darnold price?"
Okay.
So
And
I
you
sent
said
him
what?
Darnold, and I'm gonna find the exact offer. I sent him Darnold and Jacoby Myers and Hollywood Brown for Shakir because I wanted to select a better wide receiver.
3 for 1?
He needs to win this week, and Dak's on a bye.
Wait. So you only asked for Shakir for those 3 guys?
Yes. That's
And
what
he
Dak
didn't
said.
take that?
Nope.
Oh my god.
And
That's
then he
not the worst
offered me,
offer,
and
but
then-
like
That's
and then
not
he
a bad
offered me-
offer at all. Pook
Like
needs
2 weeks-
players.
But then he offered me.
And it's not like
Ryan.
Shakir is like a
But like
monster.
2 weeks ago, when you said Jordan Addison and Woody Marks
That
in the
rat. That's a
ballpark
bad
for
offer. That's a bad
Justin
offer.
Jefferson.
This offer I thought was an overpay by me and would definitely go through. So
Yeah, I definitely think you're
Pook
getting the
needs
worst
a
end on that.
quarterback.
And I'm
Sam
surprised.
Darnold has been playing very well.
He
Yeah.
definitely needs a quarterback. I don't think he's ready to see Myers. First game, you don't want to speculate with Myers.
I mean, he's going to
but
start Aaron Rodgers then and get like 10
But
points.
this would be the time to take Pook needs to
Yeah.
take chances. He's 2-7.
And-
Why wouldn't you
and
just
then-
take a chance on Jacoby Myers, buy him low? If he has
And then-
one big game this week on his new team,
His price is
the
going up.
price goes up. I mean,
Price goes up.
and it's not like
Yeah,
Pook's
but
getting
must
only
see.
Myers; he's getting 2 other players as well.
Darnold-
Darnold,
must-
even though like a,
you just must see Sam Darnold
then-
as
and then he offered me T. Ryan straight up for some reason.
Rodgers isn't a bad start.
And then I offered him, I didn't know if he wanted running back, so I offered him Darnold and then Woody Marks and Zonovan Knight. I didn't know because he said if you don't like the wide receivers, he might be running backs.
Well,
declined.
that's worse. Yeah,
I mean, that's
he
worse,
was
but
not
I didn't know
doing
what he
that.
was wanting. And then he offered
So
me
what did he counter you?
Brees Hall, P. Ryan was the first counter, straight up.
P.
Ryan
Ryan
has
for
no value.
Darnold.
Yeah, that's useless. P. Ryan
I
has no
mean,
value.
I see
He's
why
also hurt.
I can see why he offers that, but why would you ever take that? That
Yeah,
doesn't
and
help
then he
you at
offered
all.
me Shakir and Brees Hall for McCaffrey. So,
That's something Pick would do.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like Pook. Those trade negotiations definitely sound
So-
like Pook. Okay. All right. So anyways, you get the big win over Zach. You
Yeah, we
know,
locked it.
if you think
So,
about
I
the
mean,
start of the season, Zach had the choice of those ping
He
pong
locked the
balls,
playoffs.
and he took the number one pick from you. Is this a little bit of revenge? Get
I mean,
back
I
at?
would have, I would
I'll
have
see you in the
definitely picked.
playoffs, Cheese.
I would have picked Chase 1. So
Some would
I got
say you
McCaffrey
got the
instead.
number one pick at the
I did.
sixth ball.
I did.
Based on how McCaffrey has been this year.
I mean, and he's already been worth it because he's been 9 weeks of health. So
Cheese, I'll see you again, buddy, but I won't be seeing McCaffrey again. in the
Zach's gonna
playoffs.
lose the slaps in the first round and kill himself. So
I mean, let me see McCaffrey's stats here. Has he ever had? Okay, he had one single-digit game last week, 9
yeah,
points.
and Houston is
So
like the
him
best
and Taylor
defense
are
in the
basically
league.
the same so far this
I
year. They
will
both have had one bad
guarantee
game.
you one of these two teams
Yeah,
is
but-
out in the first round.
How many PPR
Oh.
points does Taylor have?
How many? He's the
Actually,
second
I
running
think
back.
Scroll
He's the
down,
second
scroll
player
down.
overall.
Scroll
What's
down.
the question?
I
224.
think Cheese. I think
Okay,
Cheese
McCaffrey's at 231.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm not trying
McCaffrey's
to
the
shoot
number one
bucks.
ranked player, and
Okay.
Taylor's the second ranked player.
Josh Allen, McCaffrey, that's fine. Sutton's okay. Ferguson's
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine. Yeah, the best quarterback and the best running back.
But like, how are you getting wins? Fucking Ban Knight and
Swift.
Woody Marks. Like,
Swift.
eventually
You
it's gonna.
forgot
I will
Swift. He has a
say
good
about
RB2
this
now.
matchup, my matchup.
The
is-
only
I
hole
like
on
Zach's team
Cheese's
better.
team is his flex.
The flex. But I've been starting the
Jeez.
right people. I've
It was
been
just what
starting the right
Crosby
people
said.
every week.
I like Zach's team better
Look,
than.
go scroll my
Jesus.
bench. Booty
Cheese,
had 0
last
points.
week,
Imagine
your
I started
team
Booty in the flex this
performed
week.
as best
would have been
as it's gonna
shambles.
perform, buddy. My team was mid. That was my team
Okay.
at mid, and your team at your best.
I think so.
No, it wasn't. We literally scored like 150 points the other week.
Okay, well, that was a fluke.
Jeez, you should be happy that everyone just keeps disrespecting your team.
I just think
You're
as much
7-2.
as
Listen, you don't want people thinking your
No.
team is good and picking you to win all the time
I
because
just
you
think
never
as
win when
much-
that happens. So
Look,
just,
I
as much
admit
as
it, we-
Chiefs shits on slaps, I think
look,
it's just
I
as bad.
think we're closer to a 5-win team than a 7-win team. We got lucky a couple times, but still a decent team.
yeah.
I think
See, here's
easily
the
a
thing.
top 5
You can
team.
overcome your flexes getting like single digits or 10 points when you got McCaffrey and Allen and now Swift getting
in the
over
playoffs.
20
I just got to
points,
start
30
the right
points.
flexes. I got to pick the right flexes. is the
Well,
issue.
yeah, but all right, Zach, your comments. Any more comments you want to make about this loss to Cheese?
Nope, like
Little
I said,
humbling
that was
week for
my
you?
team. It was a midweek for me, and it was Cheese's best week for him.
It literally wasn't.
Okay.
The best it's gonna be.
All right, we're gonna save that one for last. So moving on to Anth versus Bill. We saw Anth pick up a big victory as well, similar to like Cronky. This was a big week for him, as Bill was one of those teams that was somehow trying to take one of those last playoff spots, and Anth was one of those at 4-4. So he gets the victory over Bill, 127.8 to 112.54. Just another mediocre week from Bill as well. You know, his team and my team are kind of in similar spots. We have a couple decent players, but overall it's just ravaged with injuries or just bad underperforming players. He falls to 3-6 as well. So now a full 2 games back, plus down in the points for department. So not looking great. Jackson Dart, though, had a great game for Bill. As you know, Bill made that statement a few weeks ago that he's going to just start Dart the rest of the year, and that looks to be good, as he had a nice game. Derrick Henry, though, just once again, just looks very mediocre, mid, 13 points for your RB1. There's a lot better options out there, and Henry has not been that RB1
He's
type of guy. this
technically
year.
he's not your.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you said he was your RB1, but
Well, I mean, he drafted him like an RB1 in like the second round.
I mean, the running backs are so ass. He would be half the team's RB1s.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Gibbs, but I'm saying where he drafted him. He drafted him in the second round.
Yeah.
You're expecting him to be like a workhorse, like he's been in the previous years. He has not been the same
didn't
Henry
Cheese draft him?
as the previous
I
years.
drafted him in the second round.
Okay, well, he traded for him then.
Yeah.
Gibbs with 5.8 points. He's been a little shaky these last weeks. He had a monster game last week, but then on the outside 7.5, then the monster game, then 5.8. Gibbs needs to get back to the consistent 20 plus point, type McCaffrey numbers and not these stinker games, because they're hurting Bill down the stretch here. He celebrated the Dyke guy for a kick return touchdown that doesn't count for points.
Shamir DK.
So I'm not sure. When I seen
Dyke.
Bill celebrating that, I was like, oh, the guy got a touchdown. And then I looked and seen it was a kick return. And I was wondering, Okay, Bill, you don't get points for that. McMillan, once again, a little bit inconsistent. That was just an ugly game, that Green Bay Carolina game. I don't know why that game was so pathetic offensively, but it was. Kittle also didn't get into the end zone. Hunter Henry didn't do too much. I mean, Parker Washington was honestly Bill's one of his better starters with 17 big points, and his kicker also got 17, but now has picked up an injury somehow. I have him in JV. I did not expect that. On Ant's side, Patrick Mahomes had one of his worst games of the year, but he still scored 127, so that was good. And Cook as well, only with 13 and a half, got banged up. Etienne had a nice game running. DK shit the bed, but it was the Drake London show. This guy, Drake London, he either has single digits or he pops off for 30-plus points. You never know. He's the definition of boomer bust this season. So big game from him, and Anthony needed it. Laporta also with a huge game, 21.7 points. Kamara got banged up and lost a fumble. Pittman had a nice game, and Praetors. So with Ant's team, it was either like he had 20-plus points. Who's that going? Either had 20-plus points or you had single digits shit games. Cronky, hello.
Wait, is it Pusa? I don't know.
Testing.
It's probably right.
Testing.
So we're good.
Okay, it's
Why are you
fixed.
playing me? I'm muted, you fucking idiot.
It's
Pusa.
still there.
Oh, it was Pusa.
Pusa, Cronky.
I'm just mute him. Just mute
Let
him.
me know when he's back because I'm muting him for now. So overall, big win from Anth. He had a decent score line, 127. Considering some of his big time players that shit the bed this week to get the win, get the 127 with some of the other guys popping off. It has to feel good for Anth to get that win. That's a big win from him. I don't want to say playoffs are kind of determined, but based off these week 9 results, these were some big wins for these 6 and 7 seeds, which we'll see here in the standings in a minute, and some crushing losses for these other teams that are trying to chase. It just gets so much harder now for these chasing teams. Anyone want to make any comments on this matchup or these teams?
Bill's cooked.
Okay. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup, we saw Tyler continue his slide. 102.32, lowest points on the week. Zombie kind of gets, a cheap win, 117.40. If he played a lot of other people this week, he would have lost. So a little bit of fortune there for Zombie that he faced Tyler on a bad week. Goes to 6-3 now. Tyler falls to 5-4. It kind of feels like, and this is just my opinion, if any of these playoff teams right now are going to fall out and miss the playoffs, it's going to be Tyler's team. As his team has kind of been reeling lately. Jaden Daniels is now hurt, probably done for the year. Is that gruesome injury on garbage time? Just a big yikes there. Kenneth Walker just continues. I mean, he's getting into the level of bust territory now. Last 4 weeks, single-digit points for a guy that was drafted pretty high. Not great. Aaron Jones, 11 is decent considering they're going like with a split committee now. Wandell 13. Puka Nakua is really, Tyler's team. The problem with Tyler's team is he's got Puka Nakua, which is a guaranteed 20-plus point guy. But then who else? Who else is going to step up for Tyler's team? A few weeks ago against me, it was Chris Olave who had a monster game and Keenan Allen. But then since then, those guys have come reeling back down to earth. Travis Kelce had a 20-plus point game last week, but then this week kind of comes back down to normal. So it's like, where is Tyler getting those big points to back up with Puka? Because he needs a couple other guys to fill in. Like Cheese has Allen and McCaffrey and freaking Swift. But Tyler, it's like it's Puka and then who else?
And my tight end's pretty good. Oh, Kelsey's good. Kelsey's been good.
Tyler really needs Bucky Irving to come back off by and be healthy and play. Maybe he's the guy. He was having a decent season before he got hurt.
Rashad White is kind of just as good, to be honest.
I disagree with that. 8 the last 2 weeks.
Well,
he doesn't have the passing upside that Bucky Irving has.
Doesn't have the speed either.
He benched DJ Moore this week, which would that made the difference? Actually, no, I think he still would have barely lost. But if he put DJ Moore in for Keenan Allen or Olave, it would have been very, very close. But yeah, so that was not great from Tyler's point of view. But overall, Tyler's team, I don't want to say it's in shambles, but he has lost a few now in a row, falls to 5-4, and I'm just wondering on Tyler's team, like where are the guys that are going to be putting up points consistently to go with Puka Nacua? Because he's going to need a few guys to step up. Maybe it's Bucky Irving coming back. I don't know, but we'll see if he can get a few more wins here to guarantee a playoff spot. Moving to Zombie side, 6-3. Herbert just continues to put up big numbers ever since that trade. He has popped off for Zombie. Achen had another solid game. Juggernaut Javante with probably one of his worst games of the year, although he did run pretty well. He just didn't get into the end zone. St. Brown had a decent game for not scoring a touchdown. Rashee Rice just continues to put up big games since coming back. He's been in the end zone every week so far. This week with a rushing touchdown. Tyler Warren came back down to earth. Rome Odunze gets injured and has a 0-point game. Zombie has held on to Rome Odunze the last few weeks through high water. Hasn't been willing to even listen to trade negotiations for him. Just wonder if maybe he'll regret that as he is now banged up. Gatson with 11, not bad for a tight end, but not what he's been doing the past couple of weeks. Overall, though, Zombie gets a win with a few guys on bye. Gets a win, goes 6-3, looking very strong now to make the playoffs. And I do think Zombie has potential to be a team to make some noise in the playoffs once he gets in. Anybody want to make comments on this matchup or these teams?
Who played?
Tyler and Zombie.
Tyler's also cooked.
Tyler is cooked. Whoa. What do you mean by cooked? Do you think he's missing the playoffs?
I think he's collapsing. I think he's going to collapse.
Okay, but is he going to miss the playoffs?
Yes, I think he is.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I
So
think
you agree with me that he's falling? See, I still think he
wait,
might get in just by default.
Actually, looking at the standings, everyone else
Yeah.
is so ass that he might make it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, who's the team that's going to get in if
Wow,
he-
people are
I would
ass
like to
this year.
play Tyler.
Look,
in the
I
first
think
round.
if Ernie squeaked out wins the last 2 weeks, I would have said Ernie
Well,
would have
no
passed
shit,
him,
but he
he got
didn't.
unlucky.
He-
He got very unlucky.
What do you mean he got unlucky? This past
I mean,
week
he,
was
like-
not
like,
unlucky. This past
Not
week
unlucky,
was
but he
all
lost
on
by
him.
like small margins. You know what I mean? Like it was close matchups. He lost. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he'll get him by
but you
default.
do
I
know
changed
why
my
this
mind.
week was-
Lost a close matchup because he started.
he
a
started
fucking
a guy
Started
that
him
didn't
at the
play.
harder. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna be on. Yeah.
It's
okay,
not unlucky.
That's not
when you
unlucky.
He'll get- okay,
have
The
I'll
bad
say this.
management.
Ernie has had many unlucky losses this year and high-scoring close games that he's lost. But let's get something straight. This past week was not an unlucky loss. That was all on him and making just a stupid decision that I don't even know why he made it. So he
Okay,
deserved
Tyler
to
might
lose
just make.
that.
Tyler just might make it in based on.
See,
everyone
that's
else sucking
that's
so
kind of
bad.
where I'm at right now. I think Tyler's team is reeling, and I think he's a first round lose in the playoffs. But I just
I
don't
just
see
think the
who's
way
going
the
to be
weeks
making the
worked
run
out,
to
it just-
overtake him.
I mean,
I think the first 9 weeks how
Yeah.
it worked out and how the schedule worked out, the 2-game separation is going to be hard to make
two-game
out.
separation is a lot unless Tyler like loses
just
every
a
single
weird-
game.
If Rat
Tyler
would have
would-
won this past week, then I would have favored him.
Tyler
but
would-
the
hopefully I
team-
can take Tyler this
would
week.
Tyler would
I played
essentially
Tyler
need to
this
lose.
week.
Tyler would need to lose like
But
every.
that's what I'm
single
saying.
matchup,
If you won
basically.
this past week, then you would have been a game behind Tyler,
I
and
mean,
then
if
you
let
play
me-
him
let
this
me-
week. You could have overtaken.
Let me look at the schedule. Tyler,
this.
this week Tyler plays Rat.
All right. Well, while you look at that, moving on
looking.
to the matchup we were just referencing, Rat, as I just mentioned, losing this week after all that talk this past week, last week on the show about how his winning undefeated streak starts now, and then he goes out and loses to the worst team in the league.
All right. I mean,
You can't argue with that.
Loses
By
is
record, he was the
unlucky-
worst team in the league.
unlucky loss.
Although Pook did have a monster week, 140.5 to 139.9. It was close on Monday Night Football. Dak that throws that interception at the end of the game, but it was still, if CD catches one ball on that drive before Dak throws the pick, Rat would win off that pick, but he doesn't. And so Pook wins by 0.6 points over Rat, sends Rat to 3-6, now only a game ahead of last place, as the last place battle has now. I would make the argument the last place battle is more interesting than the playoff battle this season.
I ain't fucking
Um,
finishing under you, bud. I promise you that.
I mean, you're below me right now on the standings, so.
Yeah, for now.
Anyways, like I was saying, there's teams even worse than both of us, 2-2-7 teams, and Bill in there as well as 3-6. So the last place battle is wide open now after this win by Pook to go to 2-7. You know, I don't want to see Rat ever win, but I was rooting for Rat to win this week just to keep that 2-game buffer for last place. So great job, Rat. Way to bring fucking all of us into
Way to
the
go,
last
Rat.
place
Way to
battle.
go.
Or I should say, way to go, CeeDee Lamb, for being a bum and only getting 15.5 points, only catching 7 of 12 targets, not getting a touchdown. Caleb Williams, though, did have a very nice game, 38.7 huge points. J.K. Dobbins, I mean, he doesn't get touchdowns. It's RJ Harvey getting the touchdowns, so 6.9 points, not great. To the Tracy, all we heard this past week was how great Tracy is going to be. He's going to be the next Cam Scatabo of that offense now that Jackson Dart is the quarterback, and
Terrorist.
he looked like shit. He put up the numbers he was putting up before Cam Scatabo took over that backfield. Shocker. Zay Flowers, just mediocre. A lot of buzz on him this past week. A lot of people, including myself, saying that everyone Rat trade raped everyone for Zay Flowers. But he kind of did a mediocre performance and kind of made Zombie look a little more right in that trade. Rat got very fortunate. Started Colston Loveland, who had 29.8 points, but was outshadowed. You know, I believe I mentioned last week on the show, it would be pretty funny if Brock Bowers comes back in his first game back off his long injury against the team that had him last year that won the title, just absolutely shoves it in Rat's face, and he did that. 43.3 points. 12 catches on 13 targets, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Another hat trick of touchdowns for somebody. So just a monster game. Brought Pook back in this matchup. We were watching that game on Sunday afternoon, and with every touchdown, with every catch to Bowers, Rat just got a smaller and smaller lead, and then Pook took it over. And then it became a Dak versus CD type performance, and Dak did just enough. All he needed Dak to do was match him, and he did. He matched CD. So overall, big win for Pook. Like I said, huge performance. Big 140.5 points. Unlucky for Rat that he loses, scoring 139.9. He would have beat a lot of other teams, but that's how fantasy goes. You get unlucky with the matchups sometimes. And overall, it's a loss for Rat to send him to 3-6, and Pook to 2-7, and now it's anybody's game for that last place. And Rat, now you got to win out. If you win out, you still probably make the playoffs at 8-6. So it can still be done. But your comments after losing to Pook in this heartbreaking fashion.
GG, Pook, you won.
Yeah, he did win.
I can't even go out here and shit on Brock Bowers. The guy, I felt it coming too, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, I think he's still a top tight end, so I wasn't surprised that he just comes out and shits on me because he carried me last year, so I can't even be mad at him. Let's see, what am I mad about on my team? I'm actually happy that Stroud's injured because, God, he looked trash in the beginning of the game. David Mills looked good.
You mean Nico had an okay game?
Yeah, that was because of Mills. That wasn't because of Stroud.
Okay.
I was glad that Stroud got injured.
I think you should be turning your attention to Xavier Worthy, J.K.
benched.
Dobbins, and
He's
Tracy.
Benched. Worthy's benched. Tracy. So the actual Devontae Smith. What? Tracy. Okay. So let me talk about Tyrus when Cheese talks about Tyrus. Woody Marks had 10 carries and 27 yards. J.K. Dobbins had 15 carries, 61 yards. That's what you call Tyrus kind of work. Because if the guy is actually giving you yards, Woody Marks is giving you
I agree.
2 yards
Sean Payton is a terrorist.
And not thank you.
I think Sean Payton's smart. He knows R.J. Harvey's the more dynamic back and can get him touchdowns.
J.K. Dobbins can get you touchdowns if you gave him touchdowns in the goal line.
I don't
That's
know.
what
R.J. Harvey has proven this season that he gets the touchdowns, so they just keep going to him.
All these fake reports, I guess, are Tracy just for Singletary to out-touch him.
What do you mean fake reports? I tried to tell you last week on the show that Tracy already lost his job to start this season.
Loveland, I think he's going to be good out the break because Bears wide receivers are all getting hurt, and Caleb has an easier schedule coming down the road. So
Okay.
Hopefully he
So
can
now, last week you made that
Worthy's out.
prediction that you were going to run the table.
That wasn't me.
You
Fake
did
prediction.
say that. So are you going to go on the record now again and, make that same
I
Clash of Niche
faced
Man?
this is the most obviously it's the most important, but it couldn't be better that I faced Tyler because if we're all talking about Tyler falling out, then this is probably the most important matchup of the year.
So basically you're saying this matchup this week will determine your season.
Yes,
If you lose
'Cause
this week, you're
at
definitely
7-7, I'm not making it
Okay.
because Ernie's
Your
points for
score is
best.
horrible.
If somebody else wins out, then
I
or
would
if
agree.
Tyler, because I don't know if I can catch up to Tyler. I'm 125 under Tyler. Even if we tied in record, then that would be pretty hard.
Yeah,
So
but there's
make
still
up
enough
5
weeks left. If you win this week,
Yeah.
you're one game back of him. He could lose a few more times. I mean, you do kind of need to win out.
So the schedule I looked at is I play Tyler, and then if Ant loses this week, Tyler and Ant play each other, which both could be 5-5. So that would mean if I win, then I could be up there with them. But
Basically, you just got to win out and hope
yes.
that
Well, yes, that's
somebody.
I-
Some
I-
people will lose ahead of
yes,
you.
I can't.
Either
I can't make it
Tyler
at 7
and-
and 7.
Yeah.
I need to win out.
Yes, you got to win out. So basically, what you proclaimed last week, you didn't actually need, but now this week you actually need what you proclaimed last week
Yes.
to run the table.
I guess last week I could have said I could get that one loss, but I didn't want it now.
Yeah,
needed-
I agree. You didn't want it to be.
I didn't want to be too, especially Puke, but again, you can't even hate it at that point when Puke puts up a good amount of points and Bowers is just
Yeah, it's Bowers.
puts up. Yeah,
Hopefully,
I can't hate on the
hopefully
guy.
this week against the Broncos, he comes way back down to earth for me.
I don't know
now
about
that he
that.
had that huge game.
I think he's salty again.
All
He's
right,
fine.
well, we'll see. But all right, anybody else want to make any comments? Pook has his team name at 5-0. If he goes 5-0, he gets to 7-7.
The season's over, fake rat.
Zach, your
Okay.
season's over.
Fake Rat saying that
First
he's
round.
going to win out and finish in last would be super funny. I'm just
Can
gonna
I
say that.
guarantee something, Cheese?
Oh boy.
You are not winning the first round.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Yeah,
guarantee you.
I
didn't
agree,
finish
Rat.
last.
I agree. I'm not going to win the first round because I'll have a
You're not
bye,
getting the
moron.
bye. Slaps is getting the bye.
Absolutely not.
You set
Yes,
him
he
up
is.
for that one, Rat. I thought you were going to
Who's,
guarantee that you weren't getting last, Rat.
Oh, I'm guaranteeing I'm not getting last. I know who's getting last.
Last week you guaranteed you
Who's
weren't
getting
losing
last?
again, so I don't know what your
Well,
guarantees.
let's see. He's a dad with 4 kids, and he's
These are
40
some
years
Charles
old.
Barkley.
Bill
What?
is getting last.
Oh, okay.
The real bye-week Bill is getting
I'll
last.
keep sending it
Okay.
till you accept it.
I have a
Alright,
better team than Bill, and I know that for a fact.
okay. But sometimes in fantasy, that 50% luck doesn't always mean the best team avoids last. Sometimes.
Nope, I'm avoiding last.
Okay.
Avoiding last is easy right now. I don't see a
Easy.
threat
You're
to
only a
last.
game up in your
I don't
points
see a
for.
threat to Bill.
Isn't
or
your
you.
points for second
I don't
lowest?
care. Yeah, but
You're
I'm
only
not.
you're only 25
not-
ahead of Bill
I'm
for
not
last
losing as
in
much
points
as Bill.
for.
Bill has the worst lineup in the league.
Okay, I'm just saying I wouldn't call it easy when you're only a game ahead and you have a worse points for by a lot compared to the other two teams that are below you. So if they win and you lose, then you're going to be below them. And Bill's not that far off from you. I wouldn't say
Chiefs
it's
will be
easy.
closer to the 7 than I'm closer
What
to
did you
last
say?
place.
Bill has the worst one in the league.
The worst points for, but Rat's
Yes, Bill.
not that far off. As you see here
And
with the
Marion
standings, let's
Douglas.
go over the standings. That'll segue us right into the standings. We see, as we said, Cheese now takes over the top spot from Zach after beating Zach. Now at 7-2. Slaps also at 7-2 in that second spot. The battle for that top seed is going to heat up. There's also quite a few 6-3 or 2 6-3 teams as well, not that far back. Zombie in third, Zach in fourth at 6-3. They both have better points for than Cheese and Slaps. So if they win and them lose, they're going to jump leapfrog back into that one spot. So that battle for that bye is going to be heated down the stretch here. I think you can basically say right now that those 4 teams at the top are all going to be in the playoffs. I don't think there's any real chance that they go on some massive losing streak and somehow miss out of the playoffs. Then you get into the teams that are looking a lot better after this past week. As I said, Cronky and Anth at 5-6. with their big wins this week and all the 3 and 5 teams losing this past week, me, Rat, and Bill all losing to fall to 3 and 6, they now have a crucial 2-game gap for that playoffs. Plus, they have better points for. Cronky and Anth have way better points for than me, Rat, Bill. It does get a little closer if Ernie or Pook go on a run. Actually, I have better points for than Pook, barely. So basically, me, Ernie, and Pook are the closest to Cronky and Anth's points for, but it's still about a 100-point gap. So they would have to have some really bad weeks and go on a losing streak. So they're sitting both in a very good spot. Then it gets to that 7th spot at Tyler, also 5 and 4. So he does have a crucial 2-game lead thanks to all those other, like I said, me, Rat, and Bill all losing this week. So he keeps that 2-game cushion. However, when you look at the points for, he's the most vulnerable, as he's only about 70 ahead of me. And then, so 70 ahead of me. Ernie actually has him beat by about 10 points. So if Ernie could somehow win out the rest of the year and Tyler finishes at 7 and 7, based on points for, he could jump him if it stays like this. But it's still so close, and there's still 5 weeks left, so anything can happen. These 2 and 7 teams, they're not out of it yet. There's still a chance for them if they could make. They're gonna have to go on a run. They're gonna have to win out and hope, based on points for, that it's enough. They also are gonna need Tyler to go on a big slide, which he has been lately these last few weeks. So anything can happen, but at the moment right now, I just, in my opinion, I just see it very hard to see that either me, Rat, Bill, Ernie, or Pook could win out. I don't think any of our teams are good enough. There's just holes in each of our teams, and I don't think that it's good enough to win out for any of our teams, which is kind of what we need to do at this stage. So this year's a little different. Usually that playoff race is really tight every year. This year there's a little bit more separation. This past week was a big week to kind of separate, clear up the playoff picture. But anything could happen, but it doesn't look great. Like I said, the battle for last is very interesting. There's 5 teams right now. Me, Rat, Bill, all 1 game up on Pook and Ernie. However, points for wise, Ernie and Pook have us all beat. Well, I have Pook beat barely, but Ernie has us all beat. So basically, if we lose and they win, then either me, Bill, or Rat is in that battle
He has
spot.
you muted.
Huh? Oh,
Don't
he's
get
back.
Frankie muted.
Is he back?
Yes, sadly.
Because you were echoing.
Yeah, because you were echoing the whole time. So anyways, that's the playoff race. That's how the bottom of the stands is looking. It's kind of like there's a gap, but then that gap, then the bottom half is all battling against one thing, the last place. The top half's all battling for another thing, which is the bye. So very interesting. We'll see
I got a
these next
question.
couple weeks. What's that?
I have a question. So the losers bracket is not in the actual fantasy playoffs, correct?
What? There is no losers bracket.
Gotcha. So it ends in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean Sleeper does that stupid consolation bracket thing, but it's meaningless. We didn't
Okay.
pass no rule to actually make that a thing. There's no
Okay, so
rule to it.
Ernie's getting last. Gotcha.
I mean, he's not last right now.
He'll be last.
Really? You think he's got a big points for lead on all of us by about 100.
But Pook's going to start winning games.
Oh, okay. But so you don't see Bill, Tyler, or me losing games to take over the spot from Ernie?
I hope not.
Okay, so you're rooting for Ernie to get last. Got it.
Yeah, after what he did last week, I think he deserves last.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't hate that. Listen, Ernie, he out of everybody, with everything that's happened this year for him, he's basically become AFK, kind of like Matt. So him coming in last like Matt did last year would be a lot of irony and ironic. So it would be kind of funny. I'm not gonna hate on that. Do I think he's gonna come in last? No. I think it's really between me, Bill, and Pook. I think, honestly. And I guess I could throw Rat in there. I think Rat will win a couple games. I think his team on paper is going to trend to win a few games.
My team's on paper better than I feel like it is, but I guess.
But anything can happen. The
All
only
right,
reason
let's
I'd
get
throw
this
Rat in there is because of his points for. If he had a much higher points for, I would not really throw him in there. All right, so there's that. Looking real quick at our player props from this past week. I'd like to shout
You
out a
guys are
few people.
trash. You
Cheese,
guys are
7-2
fucking trash.
record, very good. You won again this week. Congrats. Um, next year if we do amend this to like this would kind of be the cutoff time. So it would basically be Cheese 7-2, me 6-3, Rat 7-2, Zach 6-3,
Okay, I feel like I
Slaps,
picked the hard prop
and
and I hit.
Pusa.
So
What's that?
I feel like my prop was hard. I trusted in a guy that was injured for
Yeah,
6
he
catches.
had a
And,
huge week for you.
yeah, of course
Uh,
they shit on me, but yeah.
Then Slaps, Pusa, both 8-1. Great job from Slaps and Pusa picking these props. 8-1 is very impressive through 9 weeks. And then Zombie as well, 6-3. I feel like that would kind of be the cutoff. The 7-2, 6-3, and 8-1 guys, I feel like would be the cutoff spot. 5-4s aren't bad, but Anth has been on a slide lately. And Bill, he wins one, but then he loses a couple. So I don't know. Shout out though, now the reverse side of that, Pook 3-6. He got himself back to like 500, and then the last like 3 weeks he has picked horrible props to fall to 3-6. And Ernie just continues to be tied for last or in the bottom or in last every week. And this once again, this was his idea. So Ernie, can you please step it up? All right, so that's
He's
that.
never going to step it up, golfer. He's
Well,
a joke. He will forever be a
why
joke.
why propose this idea if he's never going to give us winning props? Like the object is to give a winning prop, and
Golfer,
so
we
can
lost
win
him a
money.
long time ago.
Okay, all right. Well, let's not get into that. All right, so then looking real quick at waivers for this week, Slaps gets Luke Musgrave. I think this was probably the best pickup of the week. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be Tucker Kraft, but he could be pretty good some weeks, and he needed him to kind of replace Tucker Kraft. There was 2 other bids of $0. Slaps gets him for 15. Pretty good job there from Slaps. Then it's kind of just, week 10 waivers that is just yikes. Zombie gets Dylan Sampson. Zacchaeus for Slaps. AJ Barner for Cheese. I had to pick up a kicker because mine's on bye. Pook gets Aaron Rodgers for his quarterback this week. Don't know how I feel about that. I mean, he could do good, or he could do like he's done the past few weeks.
Can I say
The
something about
Chargers
waivers?
defense isn't great, but yes, go ahead.
Besides the fact that you pissed me off and you got my kicker, I'm not trying to shit on Bill and just well, I already did, I guess. But for how bad his bench is, why are we just dropping? I know Jerry Jeudy isn't shit, but like, why are we just dropping Jeudy and Calvin Ridley to give like Kroenke opportunities to have a decent starting flex in the future? Like, Ridley and Jeudy are better than your bench options, and you're just dropping.
Jerry
them
Judy's
for...
been horrendous.
I know,
this year.
but
I wouldn't complain about Jerry. Jerry Jeudy deserves to be dropped.
Okay,
Look at
Calvin
this.
Ridley though.
I think the one that you could complain about, Calvin Ridley as well. He's been horrible. Pacheco is the one that I think you could.
Like, we're just giving options for Pusa to have decent flex options, and it's smart by Pusa to actually just go out there and pick up some of them.
Yeah, but I would disagree with you on that. I think
I don't know, but
the pickup for Pacheco was good. I wanted to pick up Pacheco, but I didn't do it because I can't hold on to a guy I already got enough injuries, so I can't hold on to him. But these other two, the Jeudy and the Ridley, Bill waited long enough on them. They're shit. They're on shit offenses. They have no hope of doing good. I mean, Pusa can pick them up all he wants. If he ever starts them too, he's getting nothing from them. So
I guess.
But I understand your point. I agree with the Pacheco part, and I called him out last week in the chat for that. I said, "What is the point of trading for Pacheco?
Like,
I know
he was
a 1 week starter
have,
for
like,
you.
No flex options to have a decent chance of getting a better flex option."
Yeah, but Bill's been taunting. Bill's whole strategy this whole year was stack up on quarterbacks and tight ends to then use as trade bait. He finally got a deal for a quarterback, but it wasn't even a deal because the guy you got for him, you release off your team 1 week later.
And they're still like right now he's rostering 2 kickers. Why couldn't Pacheco take one of your kicker? Like, I just don't get it.
Well,
I don't get
Bill this year has been
Ridley could have Like, are you taking Ridley over a kicker? I know Ridley's been shit, but are we really going to roster 2 kickers?
Oh, I'm not rostering 2 kickers.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Ever.
it's just bad. I
But I'm
understand that
also never rostering 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight
with
ends
3 tight
either.
ends. That's another thing.
So,
Like, it just
but
doesn't make sense. We're giving him. I know they're not good. Again,
I
I
feel
know.
like I feel like Bill runs his bench like it's a fucking what am I thinking?
Dynasty,
The where you start 2
guillotine,
quarterbacks. Yeah, no.
super flex.
Yeah, super
Sorry.
flex. I feel like Bill's running his bench like it's a super flex league.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
And
say they've
it's
been
not.
like, spectacular, but to roster some of these guys over those guys, it's driving me nuts. Let's see, and it just
I am glad that Joe Flacco is on a bye this week because I'm sure Pook would have went to try to pick him up this week instead of Aaron Rodgers. So thank God he's on a bye. And then Tyler picks
said
back
there
up
than out.
steady Mr. Marcus Mariota as
We
Mariota.
can never let this league turn into a tight end like double points league.
I'm down for a super flex 1 year. Or
Yeah,
guillotine.
I don't know because Bill would win because right now he's not playing the right way.
Like
I don't
I
know what
said, he's
doing.
playing like it's that league.
Yeah,
Somebody tell
so
Bill that the vote didn't pass this past year for
we
that
can
type
never
of
let
league.
that vote pass.
I don't think it, buddy. It's been on the ballot every year and it never passes. So I don't
Good.
think you have to worry. If people want to play that type of league, there's plenty of other leagues they can play.
I'm not saying, yeah. I wasn't trying to shit on it where they didn't deserve to be dropped, but to roster some of these guys, to roster 2 kickers over some of these guys and just drop them it's stupid to me.
Yeah, I mean the only one I understand what you're saying. The only one I agree with you on is the Hunt,
that's
or
fine.
not Hunt, the Pacheco one. The wide receivers, he held on to them for long
Yeah,
enough. They're
I
both
guess, yeah.
dog shit on dog shit offense. All right, so looking ahead then to week number 10. Did you ever look up the trade deadline? Is that at the end of this week or next week?
11, I think week
All right,
11.
so
Let me
it's
double
the
check.
end. I think it's the
Let me double
end.
check.
All right, you can double check. Looking at week 10 then, as we get closer to the trade deadline, obviously week 10 will be a big week of matchups, not only for the last place battle, but also for the playoff battle.
Is after week 11.
So
Trades
yeah,
are
so
not
the
allowed
end of
after
week 11.
11.
So basically you have
Next week.
another.
We got 2 more weeks.
You
2
got
weeks.
you got about you got
Get time.
you got a week from the end of this coming Monday Night Football. So about a week and a half. Looking at the matchup starting at the top, as I said, a big battle this week with me versus Pook. Pook coming off that monster win last week versus Rat. Now at 2-7, I'm at 3-6. So obviously for standing purposes, also points for purposes, if he wins, he's probably going to jump me on the points for because we're so close, within like 10 points. So a big matchup this week for me, and not a great week to have a lot of issues with my lineup. As you can see, Sleeper projecting Pook to win 113 to my 92. I don't have my kicker in the lineup because I'm waiting for the stupid Commanders to rule out Scary Terry. They said he's not playing till week 12, but yet they have him listed as questionable. So once I get the kicker in, there'll be about 113 to 100. And I do have some lineup decisions I'm still pondering on. At the moment, I have Bo Nix tomorrow night against the Raiders. I'll definitely be starting him. He's not one of them that I'm questioning. Also, R.J. Harvey tomorrow against the Raiders. Ashton Genty tomorrow against the Broncos. So a huge Thursday night game for my lineup. I hate having this many Thursday night players. But Bo has been cooking. R.J. Harvey has had 2 big weeks, so I feel like I just have to start them. Marvin Harrison against Seattle after his big week last week. A much tougher matchup this week. We'll see what he can do. Brian Thomas Jr. against Houston. He's been banged up with an ankle. He didn't practice on Wednesday, so I'm not anticipating him to play because he's been a pussy all season long and a bust, so I'm sure he won't play on the 1 week that I need him to play the most. This is the decision Evan Ingram right now in. Another Thursday night player may take him out for Andrews after Andrews' big week last week. He plays Minnesota this week. I just feel like after Andrews last week getting the 2 touchdowns, he's going to get nothing. But I don't really feel good about Ingram either, so we'll probably take him out. Also, Rashid Shaheed in there right now against Seattle, or against Arizona, now on Seattle. Might be starting Alec Pierce or Tej Johnson over him. We'll see. And then Vidal on Sunday night against Pittsburgh, looking for a bounce back game from him. On Pook's side, Aaron Rodgers against the Chargers on Sunday night with his quarterback on bye. That's who he's rolling with. Brees Hall against Cleveland. Brees with a big game. He did not get traded, so we'll see how that impacts his motivation to play. Cleveland's defense obviously halfway decent. Zach Charbonnet against Arizona. Charbonnet didn't get a touchdown this past week, so he's kind of like a touchdown or bust type of guy. Because he just doesn't get he gets a split workload. Diggs against Tampa Bay, that game, I'm surprised they didn't flex that game to like Sunday night or Monday or something. That is a huge game, Patriots and Tampa Bay. Waddle against Buffalo. Brock Bowers tonight, so we both have Thursday night players against Denver. Like I said before, hoping after Bowers' huge game this past week that he comes back down to earth against a tougher defense. Shakir against Miami, the coveted Khalil Shakir, as Cheese has now pointed out to us. Good matchup, though, against Miami for this week. Henderson against Tampa Bay in that big Tampa Bay game. Henderson, in his first week, getting more of the carries. Did get 12.7, so looked good. Kind of got 75% of the snaps, so that's a positive trend for Pook possibly this week. And Pinheiro against the Rams. Overall, he's got Hunt and Prescott on bye this week. I'm going to take myself. I'm not too confident at the moment, but I'm just going to pray that I pick the right guys to start this week and that somehow we have some surprise guys pop off this week. And I somehow pull this out, and maybe Pook's team, after scoring 140 last week, comes back down to earth and has a bad week. And that's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need some fantasy luck this week to win, and hopefully it will be on my side. So I'm just going to hope and pray. Cheese, who's winning this matchup?
Fuck Pook. Fuck Pook, because he won't trade me. So Golfer's going to win.
Okay.
Marv is back with Jacoby Brissett in the quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully. It's a much tougher defense this week, though. It's not the Cowboys. Did Rat leave? Okay. Cronky. You said Pook was like winning out and going on a run, so I'm assuming you're picking Pook. Is Cronky here? Okay, everybody's decided to leave when we do the predictions. All right,
Wow.
Zach.
Golfer, I really hope you win.
Okay,
I really do.
Thank you.
But you're gonna need a lot of luck.
Yep, I'm gonna need the fantasy gods to be on my side.
The only way you win is if you get lucky.
Yep.
But Pook's been a pain in my ass, so hopefully that luck strikes.
Thank you. I will take that. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup, we have Ernie taking on Zombie. So Ernie, after that loss last week, all by his doing, by poor fantasy management, he now gets Zombie, who obviously is a scary team right now. Sleeper, though, has it kind of close, 117 to 112. Ernie's team, it has some big weeks in it, so maybe Ernie has a chance at this one. Rat DME Pook will win by 25. So, all right, there's his pick. Zombie has Justin Herbert on Sunday night against Pittsburgh, Achane against Buffalo, Dylan Sampson against the Jets, who he had to pick up. Why? Does he have? He's got Rice on bye, and who's his other? Oh, and Juggernaut Javante on bye. So he does need a running back. So that's who he's going with. Don't know about that.
He scores 0.
So St. Brown against Washington. Washington's defense has looked atrocious, so that is a good matchup. Roma Dunze, we'll see if he plays. He didn't practice on Wednesday, so that's something to keep an eye on. He already has Calvin Austin in his line. Man, Ernie has a chance in this one. Looking at Zombie's lineup, he's got bye issues, he's got injury issues. If Dunze doesn't play, then he's got to go with Godwin if he plays. He didn't practice Wednesday, so that's not looking good. I guess Coker? Oh, boy. Gatson against Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Tyler Warren, he's got to go with the 2 tight end strat. Those are both pretty decent tight ends. Warren on Sunday morning as we have another frickin' overseas game. That's back. Great. Calvin Austin on Sunday night against the Chargers, and Myers from Arizona. On Ernie's side, Drake May against that Tampa Bay game. I could see that game being a sneaky shootout type of game against those 2 good offenses. Patriots are hot. Tampa Bay obviously is pretty good. Judkins against the Jets. That's why I don't understand the Dillons. Is he just hoping he somehow steals the points from Judkins, I guess? But that's advantage Ernie. Barkley, assuming he's good to go on Monday night against Green Bay, not dealing with a serious groin injury, so he should be fine. A.J. Brown, assuming he comes back and is back healthy, also on Monday night. So Ernie's got a couple big Monday night players. Quentin Johnson on Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Schultz against Jacksonville. Garrett Wilson against Cleveland. Tougher defense. The Jets obviously sold a lot of their big-time players. Didn't sell Wilson. He was limited, so he looks good to probably come back and play. David Montgomery against Washington, and he's got to find another kicker because he's got Aubrey on bye. So that will be a decision Ernie will have to make. We'll see what he does there. So basically, if you throw your kicker in there, Ernie's actually projected to win this, and I can see why. Zombie's got a lot of questions. It kind of hurts me to say it, but I actually think Ernie will win this week. I mean, Zombie, he's going to need Herbert and Achane and St. Brown to really, really have huge weeks, and then hopefully his 2 tight ends, Warren and Gatson, pop off, because I don't think he can really rely on any type of points from Sampson, whoever he's going to put in if Odunze's out, and Calvin Austin. And I think Ernie's lineup looks a lot more solid, doesn't have the bye issues that Zombie has. So I'm going to take Ernie in a upset and a big win that Ernie needs. Cheese, who's winning?
Ernie, lad, I need Zombie not to win because I don't want him to get that first seed
Okay.
with all those points for.
Well, it's looking
I
decent.
also think Zombie's kind of fucked with these injuries, low key.
Yeah.
I
Injuries
mean,
and bye.
Austin, because it's not like it's not like he's starting like Austin in the flex, like that's his only thing.
Yeah.
It's Austin, Sampson, Odunze is going to be hurt maybe or play limited.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would start Tootin over fucking Sampson, so I don't know what he's on.
Yeah, maybe he'll change it. I don't know.
Sampson had 8 points last week, I guess, but that's only because he got.
You know, Zombie always
Receptions.
does this, though. There's always guys like this that we go, what the fuck is he starting? And then
Yeah.
he somehow gets like 2 touchdowns. In
I don't
the
know.
one week
I think
that Zombie needs it.
if Ernie's team is healthy and everyone's in, he's going to take it.
Okay. Rat said Ernie and
No.
Zombie tie. So, okay. Zach.
All I know is trying to negotiate with the 3 people in this league who really just do not negotiate trades is a pain in my ass.
Would you like to say who those 3 people are? I can guess 2
I
of
think
them.
we all know. I think we all know who they are.
I can guess 2 of them.
I'm not gonna say yes or no, but
Pook
tell me
and
who you
Ernie.
think.
But I don't know who the third is, but okay.
Well, like I said, I wasn't gonna say yes or no.
Okay.
Tyler.
Okay. All right. So are you taking Ernie or Zombie or Ty?
Ernie.
Okay.
This is Zombie's team ain't that good.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, moving on then to the next one. We have Bill versus Cronky. Cronky coming off that big victory last week to get that separation of 2 games for the playoff spot. Now faces another team that's trying to fight for that playoff spot. So another chance for Cronky to get another win to just separate himself even more, probably. Cronky right now projected to win, but it is kind of close, 132 to 126. Cronky has Daniel Jones on that Sunday morning game against Atlanta. We'll see how he backs up his worst start of the year this past week.
Danny Penny's is back, baby.
Ooh, yeah,
Danny Penny's
maybe. I don't
back.
know. We'll see how. This is a big next week for him because if it's 2 bad weeks in a row, then does the Colts start free falling? We'll see. Jordan Mason in there against Baltimore. What did he do this past week? 4.7.
Nothing.
Oh boy. Kroenke desperately needs an RB2, which that's one of the weak points of his team,
He
and
could have
possibly
one, but
quarterback.
doesn't want to trade him.
Bijan on Sunday morning as well. Man, he's got a lot of Sunday morning players in that game. Bijan against the Colts. Colts pretty decent defense. We'll see. JSN against Arizona. Obviously, that will be another good game for him. It's JSN. Jefferson against Baltimore. That could also be pretty good. As McCarthy looked decent, pretty good last week against the Colts, or sorry, against the Lions, and now gets to face the Baltimore defense. McBride against Seattle. Hawkinson against Baltimore. Hawkinson got that touchdown this past week to save his score, and now faces Baltimore. Jameson Williams against Washington, and Dicker against Pittsburgh. Only worry with Kroenke's team is he's got Jefferson and Hawkinson both. Are they both going to have like good games? I don't know. I don't think McCarthy's good enough to feed like everybody. And then JMO, is he going to back up his big week last week? So there is some question marks. And then you throw in Mason. I don't know. Like I said before, I think Kroenke's team is not a championship contender anymore. It is a playoff team, but I don't think it's a championship contender based on all that. On Bill's side, he's got Jackson Dart against Chicago. That could be a sneaky shootout game as the Bears' defense is not very good. Henry against Minnesota. So they both have players in that Minnesota-Baltimore game. Gibbs against Washington. Christian Kirk in there against Jacksonville. Interesting. He had 6.6 points last week. And Bill is starting. Who does Bill have on the bench? He's got Mooney,
Yeah, he's
Parker, Washington. I don't understand. I mean, I guess it's just a read by Bill that Christian Kirk's gonna
I
pop
would
off
start
against
Hunter
his
Henry.
former team. I guess. McMillan against New Orleans, that could be a decent matchup for him to have a nice week. He kind of has bad week and then he has a good week, so he's due for the good week. Kittle against the Rams, Abuka against the Patriots, that could be very good for him, hopefully fully healthy coming off the bye. Fannin against the Jets, and Bagley against Atlanta. Man, I really think Kroenke's team, after having the big week this past week, could come back down to earth with some of those holes and some of those guys in the same game. Mason, Jefferson. I mean, he's got basically half the whole Minnesota offense. And are they all going to perform? I don't think so. But the problem with picking Bill is I just don't believe Henry's going to do huge. I don't get the Christian Kirk play. Can Kittle, Abuka, and McMillan and Gibbs and Dart be enough to beat Kroenke? I'm gonna pick an upset. I think low scoring game, like 115 to 110 type of matchup, and I'm gonna take Bill in a close one. Upset. Cheese.
I think Busso. I don't know. This is some dog shit matchups this week.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take Bill because if Agbuka's back and Kittle's back, I think Tet's having a good week. Gibbs is gonna bounce back.
Okay, so two people on Bill. Okay.
Dart, I think that Dart Giants Chicago game is gonna be a shootout.
Yep.
I mean, I don't like Pussy's team's not bad. Just Mason he has 3 Vikings players. Like, what happened to his ass in the day?
Say, and I don't like the Sunday morning game. I think that could be a dud. I don't know. I'm just getting a weird feeling.
Because like Jefferson's gonna do his thing. Like, what happens if it's Aaron Jones and then like Assen gets the other 15 points and then Hawk gets shut out? Like, it's not a good combo. They have 3 of those players. Like,
I agree.
And I think Dane Dimes is kind of not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bill will pull out a big victory to avoid the last place here.
Okay. Rat said Kroenke by triple digits. Okay. Interesting.
Wait, why the hell would Rats say that when all he was doing is shitting on Bill's team earlier?
What do you mean? That lines up perfectly. He's saying Kroenke's going to win by triple digits.
Oh, I thought he said Bill was going to win by. I thought he said
he's
Bill.
saying Kroenke wins by triple digits, so it fits what he's saying about how he thinks Bill has the worst team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right, who are you taking, Zach? Kroenke or Bill?
This one is a tricky one.
Yeah, I think other weeks I'd take Kroenke in a heartbeat, but this is I think Bill catches Kroenke at the right week.
I just can't pick, so I'm gonna have to pick a tie.
Okay.
I think both these teams are pretty shit,
Mm, okay.
but one is better than the other. I will say that.
Okay.
I think
But
we
you're
all know who
taking
it
a
is.
tie this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think overall, long term, if you start the season today,
Mm.
Bills team would have a better record
Wow.
at the end of the
Really?
season.
All right. I don't agree with that, but okay. But luckily for Cronky, they only play this week, so it only matters this week. But I do think Bill has a chance in that one. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we have Anth after his big win last week at 5-4 versus Zach coming off a loss to Cheese at 6-3. So this is a big time battle of two playoff teams at the moment. Bigger for Anth because if he loses, he's 5-5, and then kind of gets maybe brings some of those teams in 8th, 9th back in it. But if Anth can win it, then he goes to 6-4 and match. It would actually tie Zach's record also to 6-4. So big matchup. This is kind of big for Zach if he wants to push for that bye and the number 1 seed. Getting a win this week against Anth will put him in a better position. If he loses, then he's probably 2 games back of that bye. So big one here. Zach projected to win by sleeper 123 to 120. So close matchup. Zach has obviously Lamar Jackson against Minnesota. That can be pretty good. He looked great last week. Jonathan Taylor over there on that Sunday morning game. Coming off his worst game of the year. I expect to bounce back. Could we see like a Bijan versus Taylor masterclass over there overseas? Where are they? Are they in London, Germany? Anybody know where they're at?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. So could be a good running game for them. I don't think the game's going to be very good, as most of those overseas games aren't, but I could see the running backs doing well, especially after Taylor having a bad week last week. He's due to bounce back. Jalen Warren on Sunday night against the Chargers. Obviously, Chargers defense has not looked great. I like that spot there. Ladd McConkey as well on Sunday night, so Zach's got quite a few Sunday nights. Pittsburgh looked good last week, but overall their defense has not looked good. I expect Ladd to have a good game. Romeo Doubs on Monday night against Philly, so he's got the Monday night player as well. Who knows? I'm sure Zach's hoping to not need much going into Monday night from Dobbs. Kincaid against Miami, great spot matchup there. He's got Bill still in there against Detroit. Really? Who do you have on your bench? Chubb. Chase is on bye, that's why. Ertz against Detroit. Yeah, so he's kind of stuck with that last flex spot. And then still rolling with Malik Washington against the Bills on Sunday as well. So those flexes are getting Zach this week with no Jamar Chase in there. And then the new Justin Tucker against Minnesota. On Ant's side, he's rolling with J.J. McCarthy against Baltimore. Interesting. So obviously his quarterback, Mahomes, is on a bye, and that is who he's going with this week. Obviously McCarthy had a very nice week last week. Only got 18, but played pretty well. We'll see against Baltimore. They're kind of in must-win now mode if they shut down McCarthy or if he looks good again. James Cook against Miami, great matchup there for him, assuming he plays. He did not practice Wednesday, though, so that's something to keep an eye on. Etienne against Houston. DK Metcalf Drake London against the Colts Sunday morning, and then DK Metcalf on Sunday night. So they both have Sunday night receivers. Laporta against Washington. Kamara against Atlanta. We'll see if he plays. He was limited. And then Pittman did not practice, and he plays overseas on Sunday morning. So Ant's got some question marks with injuries, as well as bye issues. Man, this week seems to be the week of injuries lining up with byes, causing problems for lineups. And then Prater against Miami. Stevenson didn't practice, so you can't really rely on him. There's a problem. He has Troy Franklin, who could be a sneaky good play, but he plays tomorrow, so he's going to have to decide on, hopefully get some clarification if Kamara or Pittman's not going to play, so he could throw in maybe Franklin in there. He also has Downs and Johnson, but yeah, so Ant's going to have to keep an eye on his lineup this week because he's got some big-time question marks going into this week with injuries. I'm going to take Zach. I think his team is pretty steady this week. He's He's got, his flexes are kind of question marks, but kind of so is Ants with the injuries, so they kind of, I think, wash. And I like the top half of Zach's lineup to have some big weeks. Also, if Cook doesn't play, that really hurts Ant as well. So I think Ant's gonna have some players missing, and with his buys, I think Zach's gonna pick up the win this week and bounce back. Cheese, who's winning?
I agree. Zach bounce back week
Okay,
for sure.
all right. Rat said
Where the hell is
Alright.
Fake Grant? Where's he at?
he left to go to bed, I think, because he said he has to wake up early. He said Anth by 1. Wow, Anth by 1 point. Interesting. I don't know where Kroenke
Look
went.
at this.
Kroenke just randomly left. All right, Zach, you getting this win? Looks like you have a favorable matchup this week if those injuries come through for Ant's team and he misses some of those players.
Yeah, Ant really hasn't announced himself to the league just yet.
Okay.
I don't think he has a huge statement win. And if he gets it this week, it could be the big win that he needs to let people respect him in this league. But
So you're basically saying you're giving yourself a backhanded compliment there by saying if he beats you, that's like respect.
hey, I didn't say that. You did.
Okay. All right. So is he gonna beat you? Is the question.
No.
Okay. All right. Didn't think.
He's gonna have to wait until maybe a playoff game to make his
Mm.
statement in the league.
Okay.
If he makes that,
Yeah. In a good position right now, but a win this week would definitely help him. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we have Rat versus Tyler. As Rat talked about before he left, this is a big week for him. If he wants any hope of getting into that playoff spot, and this is the week he has to win. He basically has to win out now that he's 3-6 with his points for, and this is one of the guys he's chasing, Tyler, who's been reeling at 5-4. So this could be a big one. Obviously, Tyler has some lineup. Similar line. Stop me if you've heard this before this week. Tyler has lineup decisions to make with people on bye, people hurt. So he's got things he's got to do here. He doesn't have a quarterback in, but he did pick up Mariota, so I'm assuming he's going with him against Detroit. Don't love that, especially with his receivers also injured. Kenneth Walker against Arizona. Bucky Irving against the Patriots, assuming he plays, which I would think coming off by, although he's still not practicing, so that's not great, but he'll throw Rashad White in there. Wandale against Chicago. Puka Nacua against the 49ers could be decent. Goddard on Monday night, so he does have the backup tight end since Kelsey's on bye. Decent backup, though, to have. Keenan Allen against Pittsburgh. Chris Olave against the Panthers, pretty decent matchup there. And then, especially now with Rashid traded away, it's basically just Olave for targets. And Will Lutz tomorrow night to get him started. On Rat side, Caleb Williams against the Giants after his monster week last week. Another good matchup here for him against that Giants defense. Rico Dowdle, who he benched last week, who had 28 huge points. Can't believe you would bench Knuckles. Against New Orleans this week. Should be another decent week for him. J.K. Dobbins tomorrow night to get him started against the Raiders. We'll see if it's finally a Dobbins game where he can get into the end zone. I hope not. Hopefully it's R.J. Harvey getting the touchdowns for my sake. Slayton against Chicago. Nico Collins against Jacksonville. Colston Loveland after his huge game against the Giants. Hopefully he can have another big one for Rat. Zay Flowers against Minnesota. And Devontae Smith on Monday night against Green Bay. And Reichert against Baltimore. Yeah, I think this one is going to be extremely close. I don't know if I have full confidence in Tyler to make the right decisions. I think I'd be looking for a different quarterback than Mariota. I think I would have been trying harder to get Aaron Rodgers. Seems like Tyler just when in doubt, he just picks up Mariota when Daniels is out and doesn't look elsewhere, which I don't know if that's a great strategy considering how the Commanders have looked this year. They've looked horrible. So, and then not playing DJ Moore against the Giants, I would hope he missed practice on Wednesday, but if he's starting, if he plays, I would hope he would put him in there. So yeah, I am going to take Rat in a close, decent scoring, like another 125 to 120 type game. But I think Rat pulls it out and keeps his season alive. It makes things a little interesting for that final spot. Cheese, who's winning?
Tie.
All right,
Both teams suck.
tie. Wow. Okay, interesting. Rat did say no, he didn't give comments. Zombie,
Hello,
real
Zombie.
quickly, did you want to make a quick comment on your victory last week that was kind of just mediocre against Bill?
Oh, you mean Tyler?
Or Tyler, sorry. Yeah, Tyler.
You know what? We went in and we got the dove. We got the
Okay.
job done. That's
all that
That's all that
matters.
matters.
And now this week, we already went over your matchup. Your lineup is looking kind of shaky this week with your buys as well as injury issues you have. All of us picked Ernie to get the upset over you.
Lol,
Comments?
Ernie, when half his lineup is also gonna be out.
Who
All
are
those
the-
guys
What?
ain't
Ernie's
playing.
healthy.
Who's
Ernie's
going to
whole team
be
is
out for
healthy.
him? Garrett Wilson
Saquon's
practice?
gonna be out.
What?
AJ Brown's gonna be out.
I
He
had
said he's
my
not
Delta.
dealing with a serious groin injury.
That's from 9 days ago.
All right,
And
buddy.
I don't
We'll
think AJ.
s-
I mean,
you'll see.
is there a reason you are going with Dylan Sampson when Ernie has Judkins over Tootin?
Yeah, Judkins ain't playing. I'm calling it.
He doesn't even have an injury designation.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. And if your boy Roma Dunze is out because he didn't practice today, who the hell are you going with? Coker?
Oh, we will figure it out. This is a bye week.
What do you mean it's a bye week? Like you're giving Ernie a free win?
Well, no, like all my guys are out, so we'll just
So Ernie's
have
getting
to
a
see
free
what
win.
we're doing. Whoa, we are still winning this, I believe.
How do you win on your bye week?
Oh,
It's
same
impossible.
way my Lakers have been winning without anyone on the floor.
But you called it a bye week, meaning like your team's all out of shambles and you're gonna lose. That's what a bye week is. You don't win on your bye weeks. You're just giving somebody a free week that week. That's what it means. But all right.
I still think I'm gonna win, but if I have to lose to anyone, I'll give a win to my.
Okay. There we go. All right.
All right, let's get to the best matchup
Who
of the week.
else? Hold on. Who are you picking between Pook and me?
Oh, wait, this is a battle of to stay alive, isn't it?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, if I lose, I'm 3-7. I mean, if I run the table, the rest would be 7-7. If Pook loses, then yeah, he's definitely probably out. So yeah, I guess you could call it that.
I pick you because I have you overtaking Rat,
Yeah.
and then getting mad.
Yeah, well, I'm ahead of Rat right now based on points scored, but you picked me last week and that didn't work well. So can you just pick Pook, please?
Oh, fine, I'll pick
All right, thank
my
you.
boy Pook.
All right, and then Kroenke versus Bill.
Ooh.
A lot of us picked Bill to possibly maybe get the upset this week because Kroenke does have a lot of issues as well.
Kroenke, this is a must-win for.
A must-win? Why?
Yeah, I believe.
Why?
I believe if he doesn't win this, he's not making the playoffs.
Really? Wow,
I think he's gonna fall off.
Okay, that's interesting.
So for that, I'm picking Bill.
Okay, so you think Kroenke might miss. All right, and then Anth versus Zach.
Jesus. Wait. I did Anth come back and win that game last week.
Okay, Zombie.
Zombie, move
That was
along.
so
He won pretty easily, I think, didn't he?
I'm gonna go with Zach.
Okay.
To beat
That's
Anth.
all for me.
All right, and then I can't remember if I asked you this. Rat versus Tyler.
Oh, this is also a big game.
Yeah, it is. Rat was in here earlier, and he did say that he does now officially have to win out the rest of the season to make it, and he thinks, and obviously this is a huge week for him, but he thinks he'll do it.
Wow, he showed up and then he left like a pussy?
Apparently, he has to wake up early tomorrow morning.
Okay. You know what? Just for that, I'm going with Tyler. What a
Okay.
fucking pussy.
All right, and then that leads us to the last matchup of Week 10, and it is a big one. The battle of 7 and 2s at the top of the standings. Cheese versus Slaps, 1 versus 2 right now. The winner of this in a much stronger position to get the bye than the loser, so it is a big one. Right now, Sleeper gives Cheese a very slight edge, 123.14 to 122.6. Cheese has Josh Allen against Miami. Very good matchup there for Josh Allen after his big week last week. Christian McCaffrey against the Rams. Obviously, it's McCaffrey, but that is a sneaky good matchup. 49ers Rams. DeAndre Swift against the Giants. Pretty good matchup there. Obviously, if he doesn't play, then you got Monagle, who could do just as well against that shitty Giants defense. Cortland Sutton tomorrow night to get him started. I am calling a big game for Sutton tomorrow against the horrible Raiders. He had kind of a mediocre game last week. I bet he gets into the end zone and has a big game. Addison against Baltimore. Also, we'll see. We talked earlier about that Baltimore-Minnesota matchup. Who from Minnesota is getting the points? I don't think J.J. McCarthy's good enough to distribute it to everybody. So I think it's going to be, is it a Jefferson game? Is it a Hawkinson game? Is it an Addison game? We'll see. A.J. Barner in there against Arizona. Obviously, starting him, your tight end is on
Ferguson
a
on
bye.
bye.
Yep,
On a
on a
bye.
bye. Decent player there, decent matchup. He was limited on Wednesday with points.
I
But
mean, there's other options. There's a
pretty
lot
solid.
of streamers I
He's
can pick up.
not horrible if you have to start him. Woody Marks against Jacksonville. We'll see what kind of Woody Marks we get. And then also rolling with Monagle in there as well. Ooh, interesting. So not going with Bam Knight or...
No, Bam
Wow,
Knight can
what
fuck
about
himself.
Jacoby Myers?
It's his first week on a new team, and Houston is like the best defense in the NFL. It might be a wait
Or
till next week
Booty?
to start him.
Potential
Booty
for
is hurt. Birdie, I don't know. I'm waiting on
misses
injuries.
practice.
There's a lot happening.
Man, so stop me if you... I think I've said this in every matchup for
I'm
one
waiting on
team or another.
injuries.
Bye weeks and injuries this week have
I mean,
cost a
Swift could
lot
still
of
be out. If
teams.
Swift's out, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to put in Jacoby Myers anyway.
I
if Swift's
know,
out.
but
So
this week, I think in every matchup there was at least one team that
I
when you
mean,
combine the injuries with the buys has just made these
I
lineups look horrible.
feel more the safer play this
Week
week is
10
to
carnage
start.
week for lineups.
I feel the safer play is to start both Bears guys against the crap Giants,
Okay,
and
well, we'll see if
Well,
Swift is
well,
good to go. On
we'll see what happens
Slaps'
with that.
side, Hurts coming off bye on Monday night against Green Bay, so this could come down to Monday night, especially he's
come down to
got
Monday
Josh Jacobs
Yep.
as well against the Eagles on Monday night. Kyron Williams against the 49ers. Devontae Adams against the 49ers. Fat Diarrhea Debo against Detroit. Don't love that at all the rest of the season now that looks like Mariota's going to be the guy moving forward. Theo Johnson against Chicago. Not horrible for that against that horrible Bears defense. Zacchaeus against the Giants. Jawan Jennings against the Rams. Does Slaps really not have anybody else besides
Nope.
Zacchaeus?
No. You start the other T Johnson, that'd be
I
funny.
mean,
Two
I
T
would
Johnsons.
just say fuck it and start either Keon Coleman or Luke Musgraves over
Let him
fucking
start whoever he
Zacchaeus.
wants to start.
I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, it's not great, but Keon Coleman, I could see him maybe just getting some points just because of how bad Miami is. Or Musgrave, I mean, he's gonna have a role, and at least it's Monday night. So I would maybe consider one of those. I mean, Zacchaeus, like there's like so many options. I guess if DJ Moore's out, maybe you go with him. He has had a couple good weeks in a row, but those are against. I don't know. Maybe if DJ Moore's out, you stick with Zacchaeus. But if DJ Moore's playing, I would definitely look elsewhere. And then Boswell against the Chargers. I do think the Zacchaeus play is a question mark. But the rest of Slap's team overall is much more solid, much more steady. when compared to Cheese's side, where he's got some question marks with injuries. He's got bye issue. Although I think Sutton's going to be good, if Swift plays, oh, it says he will play in Week 10. All right, so
I didn't see that. I did not
Swift.
see that.
I think Sutton could have a big game. Obviously, Allen and McCaffrey. I think the running backs for the Bears will do
Oh,
decent.
I also want to mention Nick Chubb did not practice today, so I'm monitoring the
Okay.
situation.
I think if those things fall in line, I think Cheese gets the win. If for some reason, Woody Marks, if Chubb plays, and then if somehow one of the Bears guys is out, then I'd give the edge to Slaps. So actually, I'm just going to say tie, because I don't know who's going to win this game. And Zombie, who's winning this matchup?
At first, I was gonna pick Cheese to win this,
Okay.
but then I realized
Uh-huh.
Cheese and I do not play again this year.
Okay.
And I and Slaps do play again this year.
Okay.
So Cheese controls his own destiny, but I control Slaps. And when I beat him in week 14, I will overtake him as first place. So let's
Okay.
go, Slaps.
So you're rooting for Slaps, but you think Cheese is going to win.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. I like how when you make your picks, it's always has to do with what helps you the most. It's nice.
I like that.
Zach.
We lost that.
Who does Zombie need to win or want to win?
Zombie wants Slaps to win.
I'll be taking Cheese.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Wow.
All right. All right. And also Zombie, you're not factoring in. There's the other factor of you also have to take care of your business each week to make you control your destiny.
Whoa.
You're forgetting about that. You could lose to Ernie this week. I'm just gonna
We
say.
will run the table.
Okay. The person that said that last week, it did not work out well for them. So you might not want to use that term.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Rat said that last week. All right. Cheese, you getting this big
Taking
win?
myself, I will be monitoring injuries, of course, to see if I need to sub in Jacoby Myers for one of the Bears. I mean, Swift says he's playing, he's going to play. I'm still
Okay.
going to start both if they're healthy because last week Brian Robinson got like 12 points, even with CMC getting 8 million points. So I think they can both get something.
Okay.
And I'm also going to have to monitor, I guess Barner's questionable now, so maybe I'll pick up like a Pat Fryermuth or something, depending if he's hurt.
I'm not going to say the winner of this gets the bye because it's not by a long shot locked up, but the way Zombie's
It's a big
lineup's
help.
looking, the way
It's a big
Zombie's
help.
lineup's looking this week, he could lose, and Anth versus Zach is kind of a battle. Zach could lose, so the winner of this then could gain a 2,
Look,
or it would be a 1-game lead over the loser of this,
I've
but
had
kind
to
of
face
2 over
Hurts.
everybody else. So this is a big
I'm facing
matchup.
Hurts for the second time this year, which is fun.
Okay.
So he better not fuck me again on Monday night. Oh, he didn't fuck me last time. So
I mean, Green Bay's a
Also-
decent team. It's at Green Bay, but I'd worry about the tush
also,
pushes.
I think Debo's kind of cooked. So I don't know about that. I think Debo is cooked.
No shit, he has a fucking Marcus Mariota throwing him the
Debo was one of the prime sell high candidates after the first 4 or 5.
You fuckers trading
I mean,
for
I
those
think
commies
for
will
me and
fuck
Slaps
you over.
matchup, the 49ers Rams game will be the game to watch because he has Kyron and Devontae versus CMC.
Yeah, and honestly,
So we'll
I think
see.
that game could be a shootout game. So I think
I
all your
mean,
guys.
I'll
could get
take
the
40
points.
from CMC. I'll take 40 from
Okay.
CMC.
All right, so there we
Okay.
have this week's matchups. Good luck to everybody in Week 10. Obviously, as we already said, make sure you keep an eye on your lineups, especially, as we said, almost every matchup has a lot of issues and injury concerns and bye issues, so keep an eye on those and make sure you get a lineup in there that's fully starting and good to go. Keep the integrity of the matchups, and good luck
Code
to everybody in
lineup.
Week 10. We will see you back next week to recap what happened in Week 10.
Is the show
Julian,
over?
are you here?
Wait, Golfer, don't end
What?
the show yet. You should
What?
end the show with the strong words that Bill just put in the chat about you.
Oh, let me see these strong words. About me?
About you.
Why is he fucking going off on me? What did I do? He hasn't even seen what I said about him this week yet.
You see what he says?
Let's. Oh my God, there's a long line here. Holy sh! Where the fuck did this start? Oh, at Bill, the real Bill finished last place. Rat. Bill has the worst fantasy lineup in the league. Fake rat. And why is my predicted score the third? Oh, so Bill is going to the sleeper projections as his
Bill is just
argument
going
for
on.
why his team is good. Bill, I don't think that's a very good argument. Projections and sleeper never really matter.
And then somehow
Why
he
does
gets-
everyone want my players? Who wants Bill's players?
Who knows?
The best
I haven't
question,
been.
why is Golfer the all-time worst team in this league and we're really
Wow.
finishing below him? That's not true. Ernie has the worst record in sleepers, so that is incorrect. Ernie has one more
Wow.
loss than me. And I beat Ernie head-to-head to send him to the bottom. So, Bill, you might want to get your facts straight before you say that I have the all-time worst in sleeper. Plus, I did make the playoffs in ESPN 2 of the 3 years we were on ESPN, so if you factor those in. Anyways, then Cheese comes in with his dick sucking. I took you to win this week, Bill. Don't worry. I also took Bill to get the upset this week, so don't come after me, Bill. Then between Kirk and Hunter, it would be more entertaining if Pusa got Kirked on. Oh, so that's why he's starting Kirk, to try to do the Kirked on meme from years ago. Bill, that was old. It's not happening again, buddy. I know back then you were probably young and feeling good, but leave that in the past, buddy. That was in the past. And then he said, "Holy shit, Golfers, team sucks. You sure I'm finishing?" He is scrapping to try to get it, so he's going back to projections, which I don't go off projections. I go off of the matchup in that week.
He's scraping by every week to get 100. Wow, that's some disrespectful words right there.
Wait, what was that? I didn't read that one.
The very last one.
No, he said he's scrapping to get 100 this week. Yeah, my projection is low, but I also don't have the kicker in, and like I said, they have low projections on RJ Harvey, who's been putting up, touchdowns the last 2 weeks for 16 and 20 some. Yet they
The
still have
crazy part
projected
about
for
that whole
6.
thing is he just came at you.
I know,
randomly.
and I picked him to win this week in an upset against Kroenke. Anyways, so there's that. Good luck. We'll see next week if the projections are exactly like Bill thinks they are.